What's up, guys? This is Ray, and welcome to Age of Filmist. And the movie we'll be talking about today is a 2013 film, Dead Sushi, directed by the great Iguchi Noboru and starring in my opinion, the mostly underrated Takeda Rina. Now, if you're not familiar with the work of director Iguchi Noboru, I think he's definitely a director whom you should definitely be familiar with. Well, first of all, his movies are all blood splatter comedies. I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's a horror director, but he's definitely a blood splatter comedy director. And his movies are a whole lot of fun. And to be honest, at first, if you dive into his world, if you haven't seen movies that are super violent, super bloody, super gory, his movies might not be for you, but you watch enough of them like I have, and suddenly his bloody movies aren't so bad anymore. You get kind of desensitized to all of it. So the story of Dead Sushi, now bear with me. It's about sushi brought to life, or rather made undead by this ex-employee of this pharmaceutical company who unleashes all these sushi into this ryokan when his former employer, this pharmaceutical company, and its employees decide to stay a night at this ryokan, and of course they eat sushi, and obviously because they partake in sushi, which happens to be this ryokan specialty, well, let's just say they're in for a complete surprise. And our only hope to save the day is Keiko, who's played by Takeda Rina. And the reason why she's the only hope is because she's the daughter of a very famous sushi chef, and also she knows martial arts. But anyways, it's as ridiculous and absurd as it sounds. So let's dive into the positives. Well, first of all, this movie is meant for three types of fans. You have your fans of sushi, you have your fans of the ridiculous amount of blood splatter you find in Iguchi's movies, and then you also have fans of Takeda Rina. And by chance, I happen to be a fan of all three. I absolutely love sushi. It's one of my favorite Japanese foods. I love Iguchi's work. I think the first Iguchi movie I've ever seen was The Machine Girl, but then just went on from there. It was instant love. It was love at first sight. And then you have Takeda Rina. I honestly think Takeda Rina is one of the most underrated and underused actresses in Japanese cinema. She's a legit martial artist. I forget exactly what belt she holds in karate, but I think it's up there. And this movie really lets her action skills shine. And she's been in a few movies where she doesn't show her action. Attack on Titan, where she was basically a sex-starved girlfriend who didn't really do anything to defend herself. And I was really disappointed in seeing how Takeda Rina was utilized in that movie. But in movies like Dead Sushi, I am very happy. And that being said, Takeda Rina's skills and choreography are on point. Even the way the action scenes are shot. Yes, there are action scenes in this movie. It involves Takeda Rina fighting off employees of the pharmaceutical company. There are all these ruffians who just want, all these rich guys who kind of think they're right in every sense of the word when it comes to how to eat sushi. They're self-proclaimed connoisseurs, and then they fight anyone who gets in their way. Now bear with me, it's pretty ridiculous, I know, but that's what makes this whole concept ridiculous. But not only does she fight against employees of the pharmaceutical company, she also fights against the sushi. They when they're brought to life, they look like, or rather they act like piranhas in the way that they just keep chomping away, and they even swim or fly through the air as if they're a fish. The idea is that the serum that this ex-employee injects into these sushis is that it brings dead animals or dead creatures back to life. And of course, sushi, they were once fish, so of course they're going to act like fish. But of course, the side effect is that they crave human flesh and they become ultra violent. And as I've been hinting, I love the concept, and as I said earlier, it's as ridiculous and absurd as it sounds. And they do every single thing. They pull out all the stops and bring into the most absurd kind of content that that they could possibly think of. I mean, there's everything from if I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nuitai Mori. It's essentially when they put sushi on top of a naked woman's body and then they eat sushi off of the body. But they have a scene like that here. But of course, instead of sushi, they have the undead sushi placed on top of the girls, of course, unbeknownst to the girls. And what you can expect happens. I mean, some other things that they have an acid squirting Tamago Sushi. They have a battle. If you guys don't know what a battleship roll is, well, that's what they call it in Japanese at least. A battleship roll is like ikura, where you basically have a fat roll of seaweed, and the bottom is rice, and on the top is the fish. And they have an actual battleship shooting cannons at our heroes here. And not only that, but the final boss, the way, first of all, the way he comes about and the way he's designed and portrayed and the way he fights, it's ridiculous, but it's a whole lot of fun. And speaking of fun, everyone performs like they're having tons of fun. I mean, I don't think anyone in this cast takes the production seriously, and they shouldn't, because the concept is ridiculous. And you definitely see that they have their performances all the way up to the max, and you just can't help but have fun with every single one of them. And even though this movie is about man eating sushi, damn, does this make you hungry for some sushi? As far as the negatives are concerned, it's kind of hard to give a movie like this, a movie with this kind of attitude, some negative points, because it knows it's not supposed to be an award-winning movie. It just has a whole lot of fun. But if I were to nitpick some negatives about this movie, I gotta say that some of the special effects seem off. Granted, in all of Iguchi's movies, he's fantastic at utilizing a lot of practical effects to make his ideas come to life. They do that here. All the sushi, especially when you see them up close, they're all made with practical effects. There is some CG involved, but not too much. But when it comes to capturing the sushi flying through the air, flying through the sky, it kind of looks kind of wonky from there. Granted, it's not meant to look like A-grade Hollywood level CG, but it does seem a bit off when it shows the sushi flying. And as much as I like Iguchi's blood splatter movies, there wasn't a whole lot of blood in this movie compared to his other movies. I felt this is one of the least bloodiest out of Iguchi's movies. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I'm so much used to Iguchi having a lot more blood and violence in his movie. And this movie had it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of it compared to his other movies. And as much as I love the action, the choreography, and the stunt work performed by not only Takeda Rina, but also even Asami, who's like B-movie queen in Japan, they do their own fair share of action. However, there are certain moments in the choreography where you can just tell that they miss. Like Takeda Rina would spin around and do a roundhouse kick, and there's obvious space between the kick and the face of the person she's acting like she's kicking. But you know, of course, the stuntmen are great; they act accordingly. But from the way the camera angles are, there's an obvious gap, and it doesn't look like it makes contact. But you know, it's okay. I forgive you, because Rina, you know, I love you. I wish that movies utilized you and your skills a lot more. But this movie really makes you shine. But overall, what did I think of Dead Sushi? I loved it. It was a lot of fun. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, and it's what you can expect from an Iguchi movie. And not only that, Takeda Rina, you know, we all know her for action and her skills, but she does a fine job at displaying her acting chops here. She was charming. She was hitting her lines on point, and I know that if I were to see her perform her lines live in person, I would have been applauding, like, yes, you go, girl. You know, she was great in this movie. I think this is one of my favorite performances by Takeda Rina. And even though this isn't the bloodiest of Iguchi's movies, I think Takeda Rina alone makes it worth it. Of course, everyone else who is in this movie was fantastic too, but I gotta hand it to Takeda Rina. I think I pretty much watched this movie explicitly for her. But yes, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Dead Sushi. What did you guys think, or what kind of questions did you guys have? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow on Facebook and Twitter, and by all means, please support Asian Films on Patreon. It definitely helps the channel a lot. And hey, did you know I started a Discord server so we can all come together and chat about Asian cinema? Please leave a line in the comment section below, and I'll extend to you an invite to our server. And that's it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you all again in the next video. Take it easy.